Hi, Jay Frederick Smith here, Continental Realty of Jackson. We are at 1278 Neva Street in sunny Jacksonville. Neva Street has seen a lot of action as far as new construction lately, although this particular home does not sit in that new construction area. You've got a manufactured, old manufactured across the street, but just down a little bit, there's a bunch of new homes. Just down the other way a little bit, there's a bunch of new homes, but all the homes right here in this area are original equipment, things that were put up here in the 50s and 60s. The yard itself is not in that great of shape, and the homes here are not the best well cared for, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad neighborhood by any stretch. Especially with the new construction going in, it might be okay as far as the neighborhood itself goes. The neighbors are, looks like lawns are mostly mowed, but I see some clutter and that kind of thing, so not necessarily, once again, a bad thing. Definitely something that you would want to, consider, though, when you're moving in. This particular house is an off-grade, I believe, off-grade brick house, recently painted. Really needs a second coat of paint on this house. Burglar bars on the inside. You can see them there through the windows. I see them everywhere. You have to be careful with burglar bars to make sure if they're in the bedrooms that they're the kind that can be opened. Otherwise, a fire is going to kill everybody in that bedroom. And you would not want to be responsible for that, especially if it's your family, right? Soffits and eaves look nice. The soffits were recently painted. Let's back up and see if we can get a look at the roof. I can't really see the roof. And I can't go back any farther or I'm going to fall in the ditch, and I just don't want to do that. So I guess there's not much we can do about that. We can't really get around the side of the house this way all the way through, but we will take a look to see what we've got there. Now, it's a brick facade. So as you can see, the brick ends and the cinder block begins. So it's a brick facade in the front, not a full brick house. Concrete or cement blocks for the rest of the property. There's a double size gate with a very, very cheap chain and padlock there to keep people out. Yard is a nice size, big backyard, very good. Not sure what you could do with a yard like this, but it's big enough. I mean, you could probably put a pool in there as long as there's not a septic tank someplace. And lots of trees around too to give you lots of shade. We've got rain coming in here soon, so I'm going to have to hurry up with this or I'm going to get wet. At least the outside part. All right. Let's go around the other direction. Now, just once again, a quick look at what the neighbors' homes look like across the way. There is a ditch in the front. So, if you're wanting to use that gate, you're going to have to do something about that ditch, because that's definitely going to get in your way otherwise. It's unfortunate, but you could build something that would allow you to get over there with some big cement pipes. Okay, because you got to have the ditch. You can't drain that out. It's a required thing. Okay, so going the other way, the neighbors have a little fence here. And they want to make sure that that is theirs and not for you to mess with. So we won't be going over to their side of the property. When we get back here to the back of the carport, which, by the way, I see some cracking on the cement floor of the carport, and that is okay. And you know what? Actually, looking at the height of this door compared to this slab, and I'm not seeing any vents, this does not look like off-grade. This looks like it's built on a slab. So that's fabulous news. But anyway, at the back here, I see some T111 siding that's been put in. It might have been that this was a pull-through at one point in time, all the way to the back, and then they just added, some walls to seal that all in. You got a lot of rot and problems in this T111. They just painted over it. This is wood damage. Water damage. Pardon me. Obviously it's wood damage, but it's water damage. The caulking and the sealing around the edges here needs to be redone. You certainly don't want to have problems with insects and other things getting in. But I see rot up there in the quarter round that's underneath the roof too. So that makes me wonder what is going on with that. T111 continues around this side of the house. There's been work on this office, some wood replaced, and strips put in to hide these gaps, but that has not been completely successful. Paint definitely needs to happen. Definitely needs to happen, and it's not so desperate that you can't live without having it done. But I would say you don't want to wait too long. This T111 really is a bad kind of siding for Florida because it is very susceptible to moisture damage. You have to keep it painted and you have to keep the caulk on it. If you don't, you're going to have problems. Someone wrapped the corners of this recently. This is fresh new material here on the corners, and it's been painted too, but the amount of paint that they put on there is minimal, which is too bad. T111 goes all the way around this side, so I think this whole thing was a carport at one time, and they just sealed the whole thing in. Now we've got soffit vents here. You can tell the screens. I didn't see any open ones. That's good. The T111 at the top, definitely giant gap there. That needs to be trimmed and caulked in so that you don't have any problem. We got all sorts of lead-based paint laying on the ground where they scraped the paint off and they didn't clean it up. And that really needs to be swept up and disposed of properly. But since it's lead-based paint, there could be issues with that. Got a lot of plumbing actually on the outside of the house. So why is that? Well, maybe there was galvanized on the inside under the slab and they just couldn't do anything about it and there was issues. That would be my guess. This cement probably is recently poured, since this here has down at the bottom this PVC pipe, right? I see PVC. So maybe this was put in recently enough at least to support that PVC that's been put in there. But yeah, it looks like all of the plumbing is now strapped to the outside wall of the house, which makes me think the house has been replumbed in the fashion in which they could do it with it being on a slab. We've already looked at that side of the house, and we've looked at the backyard too. But once again, it's a nice big backyard with a double gate, meaning you could get a van or something in there. The thing is that this gate is not big enough for a large trailer. Like, you would not be able to get a semi-truck trailer through this gate, especially with that steel pole that's there. And why that's there, I don't know. But you could get, a larger truck. I think if you need to move big things into the back, you're probably going to want to get your tape measure out to make sure that it's going to work for you. Now, I'm seeing a lot of clouds up in the sky. We're going to go ahead and get around to the front so we can get inside before the rain starts pouring down on me, because that is exactly what is about to happen. Wind is picking up, and that means the rain is coming in. Okay, big security door for the front door. Burglar bars appear to be just about everywhere. And we're going to go ahead and get this guy unlocked, and I'll see you inside in a moment.